it's okay to feel you are confused and don't understand, but that's just the mantra you keep on working with. And one contraction at a time, one break at a time is the trick when we do physical work, because your body actually has calculated how long can we endure this intensity at a time. So imagine, it has portioned it to be as kind as possible to us. So this is a very, very, very well thought plan. And of course, it is designed to help us. And again, you can have pain relief. So find that mantra that helps you with pain. So Anna is asking, I'm also concerned about being induced first-time pregnancy and therefore not have the time to take breaks between contraction work. So this is like where we were now, talking about contraction, guys. So what if there aren't any breaks because of the natural labor start? How will I be able to not lose focus and keep calm? That's a very important question, guys. Thank you, Anna, for that one, because I was talking about the way we work in this method. So the way we work in this method is that it's a birth work. Your body is physically working, and you need to learn how this work is planned, what energy source it is, and the tools that we are providing. So in this, we have the rhythm of birth. Physiological birth has a working part around 60 seconds in active labor, and then it has a resting part. This is the rhythm that always like breathing in and breathing out. And both of those phases together is making one contraction. So they are designed to be completely dependent on each other. But when we are left in stress and fear, overwhelmed, it's like drowning in an ocean. So instead of being able to catch the waves, work with the body, find the resting, catch next wave, because you can't choose when they're coming. This is from the autonomic nervous system. We are drowning and losing control because we're not on board. So that's why it's very important just to understand that that's our coping frame, is one contraction and one break is making the birth work together. And we cope with them only working with one contraction, only working with one break. Not thinking like, if you're running a marathon, you cannot think about 42 kilometers. You just do it in small portions, one contraction at a time, one break at a time. To answer Anna's question, this is a very tricky one. I will not put too much energy into it because there is a discussion going on. So since 2 years, we are inducing 50% of all pregnancies. So you have 40 plus 6, the time the physiological birth happens today. And after that, you're induced, and that becomes a medical birth. There can be times where your birth is more triggered and continues by itself, that your system is ready, but many times that also then is that your system is not quite ready and you need to have that synthetic oxytocin for the contractions. So you're completely correct that then we don't have that physiological rhythm from the autonomic nervous system anymore. So I always say that, number one, there's discussions and questions around if it's the right move to do intervention at such huge part of the population. We're discussing, is there another way of getting the same results without doing this? There could be monitoring, it could be something else. So just to know that that's what's going on within the field. And my suggestion is that also discuss with the staff that it's very important that the dosage is helping you with those two phases, so that you really have a connection with the working part, since it's the machine that decides. We're trying to create the same rhythm, so don't worry. Working part, resting part, but that it's not too high dose, so that, as you say, Anna, you just drown and can't find those two phases to follow the rhythm of birth. Then you can always negotiate and ask, please, can we lower the dose just for 2 hours and see if there's still progress? If there's still progress, that's fine. If it's slower and you get that chance to become more present in each phase, so that you actually are on board. So that I would tell your partner that if you drown, lose it in stress and fear, then it's very important to talk to the staff and see that you can negotiate about 2 hours and see if it's still progressing, and have a lower dose. So you get a little bit longer breaks and a little bit softer contractions. Also, bring water bottles. These ones, you buy in the pharmacy and you pour hot water. I think those ones are the best pain relief, and also helps if you get some spasmer from the medication. So that can happen, that there's like a storm of contractions. So that also helps for that. I hope that was some kind of answer, Anna. It's complicated, not being able to give birth in your clinic. So the setting is very important, but what we work with is actually to make a safe space with your support person, because the parasympathetic nervous system that is in charge of birth and has the oxytocin is the opposite to the stress system that is activated by fear. So instead of focusing, too much where we give birth, you create that safe space with your support person. And very, very concrete tip for you who are the support person today joining the call is to have constant body contact. So the body contact creates like a room in the room. And if you're working with a close support person, I usually work just with holding from the side, helping her to lean somehow, giving a lot of, feedback that I'm here. If you're in a relationship, it's actually a lot of spooning, hugging, holding, as long as you are in a good space. Just to remind you, if there's stress and fear, that doesn't work. Then we have to have eye contact and hold like firmly and guide that person out of the stress reaction. So that's what we work with. How can you guide someone out of the stress reaction? Closeness is really important because oxytocin is released through the skin. So you who are a support person, just by holding firmly, hugging, spooning, you get a lot of oxytocin out in the blood that will help with contractions, but also activate that part of the nervous system that is the peace and calm and trust part of the autonomic nervous system. And remember, dear support persons, what you do without even thinking about it is that when we staff come into the room, you move aside to give space to the experts. You should never do that. We are, adjusting around you as one unit. So physically, it's very important you don't sit on that couch on the other side, but that you are, close physically to your birthing partner. And we adjust around you 3 or 4, don't forget your beautiful baby. And that will give so much feedback to the nervous system. I'm not alone, somebody's here. And also take the time to learn more about the tools. Oh, thank you, Petra. I love getting a heart just to know that you're with me here, okay? My goal is to empower you that you got this. And it doesn't matter if it's going to be a C-section. It doesn't matter if it doesn't become as you thought. So you just remember that it's the inner feeling of not feeling alone, not be kidnapped by panic, stress, and fear, even if those emotions will come and go in birth, and, have support with you. After birth, you will have that reward from the physiology as well, even if it was tough, or you had the most beautiful, amazing, empowering experience. But afterwards, all of us are going to get that reward from the physiology. The oxytocin is taking care of the bonding, the oxytocin is taking care of the breastfeeding. Your hormones are ready. So we just need to find that way of pressing them. Yeah, I hear somebody about partners that are scared that your partner can't, cope with it or will faint. This can happen. I've been in many birth rooms where this has happened, It's intense also for your partner emotionally as well. So, you can't expect not always, that they won't react or respond emotionally, because it's an unknown situation as well. So if it happens, they will be taken care of. But to prevent that, your focus as the support should be on the face of your birthing partner. So when you are focused here, and of course reading the body language so that you understand where you emotionally are, that focus will help you not get overwhelmed by doctors or things happening and so on. I would say that that is the best way. It's the focus we're working with in Give Birth Without Fear. Your focus needs to be on the birthing partner and not everything else, and not on the CTG machine, the machine that measures the heartbeat. 9 out of 10 partners are staring at that machine, but you should be, very close and focused on your birthing partner. So that is very important.